Hi, I'm Bob Humphrey with another tip from Yamaha Outdoors. It's a cold winter's day right now and spring is still a ways off, but this is a good time to start planning, especially if you've ever considered doing a Grand Slam. You want to start well in advance and do your planning.
Ooh!
The Wild Turkey Grand Slam, as most people know, involves taking one each of the 4 North American subspecies. The first we're going to talk about is the Osceola. Now, Florida has a monopoly on the Osceola, and they know it. It can be hard to find a place to hunt, so this is the one that you want to plan well in advance. And chances are you're going to have to book with an outfitter, a guide or an outfitter, because access is so difficult. So do your homework, as you would with any guided or outfitted hunt. Get references. Talk to these people. Talk to people who have hunted with the outfitter and ask them their opinion. That way you're not going in blind. You know that you've got a good recommendation, you've got a solid outfitter, he's going to treat you right. Another reason that you might want to consider an outfitter in Florida, besides just the access, is Florida birds can be tough. And those people that live there, that are used to hunting them, are going to be full of information that can help you do what they say, listen to what they say for tactics, techniques, and you'll be a lot better off and probably more successful. The Merriam's turkey is quite the opposite of the Osceola. They live out west in wide open spaces and probably offer some of the best opportunities for public land hunting. Now, again, you may want to choose to go with an outfitter, particularly if you're not familiar with the area, but if you do your online research, you do some studying, you ask around, you can find some information about public land hunting for Merriams. And Merriams are also different because they like to spread out across the landscape. So before you go out there, talk to your guide, your outfitter, or your contact, maybe a state or public federal land official. Ask if you can use ATVs, because that's a great way to hunt out west. You start out in the morning, you listen, you scout your birds, then you get on your ATVs and you ride around, you get up on high ground, you glass, you may see birds a long ways off, and then you can shorten up some of that distance with your ATV and then stash them in the bushes, get out and make your final assault where you set up, put out your decoys and call those birds into you. Okay, a third species is the Rio Grande, named for Rio Grande River, and they're most common in Texas, but fairly well distributed throughout the central and western states. And they sometimes have a reputation for being easy to hunt, but don't plan on it because they can be tough. Recent boom and bust drought cycle has resulted in 1 year there'll be a few longbeards and just a ton of jakes, and then the following year you'll be overrun with longbeards, and that's when you want to be there. If you can time it, that's the year that you want to be there, but if not, you're going to have to work a little bit harder. So be prepared. Again, talk to your guide, talk to your outfitter, talk to some contacts out there, maybe from the State Wildlife Agency. Find out what sort of a cycle they're in, find out where the birds are at number-wise, how many older birds there are before you go. Okay, last but not least is the eastern wild turkey, which is probably the most widespread and the most abundant. Even in states where the other subspecies are more common, easterns can still occur and you have an opportunity to hunt them there. And so most people in most states can find them right at or near home, but don't underestimate them because they can be sometimes the toughest, particularly in areas like the southeast, heavily hunted birds on public land, areas in the extreme north where they have severe winters, and populations can also go through a boom and bust where some years they're abundant and other years they can be quite scarce. If you have a wet, cold spring and then 2 years later you're going to have a scarcity of longbeards. So do your homework. Even if it's close to home, get out there, find 1, 2, 3 places, 4 places, as many places as possible so that if something goes wrong with your first choice, you can go to a second or a third, so that you want to get those 4 birds. And some people like to do it all in 1 year, but you don't need to. It could be a lifetime accomplishment to fill your Grand Slam. You can do it in 1 year, Once you've done that, you might want to think about stepping up. Maybe you want to do it with a crossbow, or with a recurve, or a compound bow, whatever your choice. Anyway, if you're going to do a Grand Slam, the most important thing that you're going to do is start your planning early and well ahead of time. That's it for now, but please check back again soon and often with Yamaha Outdoors.